this point so that people that aren't here can catch anything I talk about tonight. One of the things is obviously the projects, and I want to show you the form so far that we got. Let's see, where is it? Let's try this. So I was working. I only got a few of you signed up, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people signed up. Well, 10 because 2 people are working together. But there have been other people who have been sending out emails who are not on the form. But as of right now, there are only 2 live presentations, and they're both next Tuesday, one right after the other, one at 6 and one at 7:30. So Kaylee, you're the second of the 2. Oh no, you're the first of the 2, excuse me. And then Jared will go after you. And I doubt you're going to go the whole 90 minutes between you and Jared. But, and the idea for the live presentations is that, let's see if I can get more of this on the screen for you. The idea of the live presentations is that we get whatever audience can attend. You won't have full participation of the whole class, but as long as you have 4 or 5 people, I think, attending, you'll have that audience feedback, which is crucial. So, so I don't know if you can read that. Might be a little. See if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. So this is what we have so far, and I'm going to post this, but I guess what I'll do is I'll manually add the ones that didn't come on here and do this from the emails that have been coming out. I've been flagging them as they've been coming. So that's that. And then the only other thing you have left to do is the portfolio. So I want to take the opportunity to answer any questions that anyone had about any of that. So would any of you like to unmute?
How will I know how many people can watch my presentation live?
Where are you doing it on this, on Zoom?
Yeah.
So what will happen is I will get on with you and I will make you the administrator.
Okay.
At that point, you'll have the controls. Now, what I see is I see a list of all the participants, whether they have their cameras on or not.
Yeah, I can see those too.
Oh, you can see those? Okay, so that's how you'll know.
Okay.
In that case, I won't have to make you the administrator. So that you won't have to worry about anything. I will. I'll play the administrator so that I can record it. And
okay.
What you could probably tell people to do is, if you want, if they have any questions while you're presenting, to put them in the chat. And then after you're done presenting, you can answer their questions. You can look in the chat and see what's there. And I'll moderate for you like a webinar.
Okay, cool.
Okay, do you know how to share your screen? If you look down at the bottom.
Yeah, I was messing around with it the other day when I was picking out where I wanted to present my video or my presentation. So I'll probably get on earlier than I present and figure it all out again.
That's fine. Are you going to be showing a video?
I have a PowerPoint to show.
Okay, so what Zoom says about video, and I'm guessing probably with PowerPoint too, is when you share your screen, put the presentation on full screen.
Yeah.
And that gives it the best quality for the viewer, and it works.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I'll have like the PowerPoint, and then I have a couple links to show. So I'll just click on different things so I can guide everyone through my presentation.
That's great. I'm excited for that. Cool. This is a great experience in just learning how to present online. That's kind of the goal of the presentation style. So, did either of the other 2 of you have any questions?
I had a question. I'm sorry, I think you've explained this, but just how to like sign up for a time when you're available to, like, if we're like doing a live presentation.
So if you go to doodle.com/fromanelli, which I had put in that email,
yeah,
you'll see my calendar.
Okay.
And what I would suggest is before you book it with the class, if you send me a couple of possible times and dates that you could do it, and then once I confirm with you,
Then send it to the class.
then you can send it to the class. This is when I'll be doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. How are you tonight, Tyler? I don't know if you can hear us yet. Can you? Can you hear us, Tyler? Not yet. I'll figure it out. Other questions? So are you all clear on the last project, the portfolio assignment?
Um, a little concerned. It's I understand that a good part of it is the essay, but also a large amount of works that are supposed to be posted there, and exactly accumulate body of works.
You must have a bad web connection. You're coming in real spotty.
Okay.
That's better. That sounded good. You want to try again?
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, you're just you're still spotty. Why don't you type it into the chat and I'll answer you.
Okay.
Anyone else while Tyler's doing that?
Hold on. Let me connect.
Okay. Any questions about anything at all other than I know that you want to see the evaluations to date. But let me explain one thing about the way I grade is that all assignments completed by their due dates are open for revision and improvement right up until you submit them on the final day. So that the advantage is if you have any questions, if you haven't had the chance to do any collaborating and seeing if anyone has any recommendations for you to revise any of your writing, you still have time to do that right up until the final day. Because of all these extenuating circumstances that have happened between what's going on in my family with my dad and some of the things that some of you have shared, I've decided and I'll send an email out to this regard, is that rather than making everything due on Monday, May 1st, I think it is. Let me see about that. I think it's right. The last day of the semester is Monday, May 1st. Instead of doing that, I'm going to Monday, May 2nd. I'm going to extend everything to that final day, which is Thursday, May 12th. So, so you will have up until that final day to improve for a better grade if you think that there's anything that you can revise, or if you think you want to get some more blog posts written, or anything like that. So, hopefully that'll help. Sorry, I just muted you, Tyler, because we could hear your keyboard. So no problem. Anyone think of anything else you'd like to ask? As far as the website portfolio assignment goes, the idea of that is just to give you. I mean, some of you are well aware of how that works. You've done it in the past. When this course first started, when I first started teaching it in 2011, we actually had people code their own website and really work with coding. It's such an outdated skill in the sense that, but needing to know how to use HTML or CSS is really kind of not a need. It's kind of like going back to like when people had to learn their times tables before they were using calculators, or the whole spelling debate or the whole handwriting debate. A lot of these have been replaced by technology. So the idea of having a sense of design and being able to use various templates or even blank slates where you can just develop, like WYSIWYG, as they say, what you see is what you get. Like with um, what do you call it? Like with WordPress, where you don't have to use a template, you can build it from scratch, but you don't have to know how to code. So I think that gives you more focus on design. And I really, really like Renee's chapter on websites and how she talks about design. She talks about the different ways that you can set up things across a page or down a page, or the whole, the Z format versus um, the other possible formats, and how you use space. So that's really part of what this assignment's about. The idea that how you use space is part of digital writing. It's part of the multimodality of writing. In fact, I have a colleague whose PhD many years ago, even before we were talking about technology the way we are now, was just about space. It was a writing, she's a writing professor, and her PhD was about how to use, space, and even how you use white space. Um, there's an old YouTube, if you ever get a chance to look it up, about Microsoft introducing the iPod. So it's if Microsoft were to introduce the iPod, and it was really, really interesting. So what they did was they showed how Microsoft would have packaged the iPod as opposed to how Apple packaged the iPod, because Apple's packaging is, the white box with it's very, very minimalist. And then they showed it being packaged by Microsoft, and one step at a time they kept adding things, and then pretty soon there were flaps, and there were, front and back, and it was really funny, but it kind of made the point of what's visually pleasing to the eye, and the whole less is more kind of idea. Um, so let's see, Tyler, did you send anything on the chat? I don't see anything.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Yeah, I was worried about. I know that the portfolio is mostly going to be a website, correct? Right.
Yes.
And since it's a portfolio, that would necessitate like having a collected sort of body of work, right?
Yes.
What would you say maybe to someone who necessarily might not have such a large body of work accumulated?
Well, the body of work that's accumulated in the portfolio are the projects of this class.
Oh, just these. Oh, okay.
And any related links. So
Okay.
if you want to add anything beyond that, you're welcome to, but
Right.
it's really just a portfolio of this class, and
Okay.
with a reflective introduction.
Yeah, right. I mean, that part was at least something that I figured was going to be.
So
That wasn't the problem there.
And I've seen people do it different ways. Some people do hyperlinks to Google Docs.
Mhm.
Some people take the text and they bring it right in, and they create pages or boxes within the page itself. Some people will embed a Google Doc into the page.
Mhm.
I think it depends on their skill set and what platform they're using, and how they want to design their page. There's no right or wrong way to design the page. That's kind of part of the assignment,
Okay.
how you design the page.
All right. That makes sense.
But just remember, your design is. Just remember that that very first thing I said at the beginning of the semester from Marshall McLuhan. The medium is the message. So everything you do to that page is part of the message that you're trying to send.
Yeah, I actually decided to do a website for the project that I'm finishing up.
Perfect. That's great. All right. Anyone else besides Evan? Those are good questions, I think.
I have a question.
All right. Kelly, go ahead.
For the portfolio, what other options other than a website would you highly recommend?
The three bigs, I think. Well, the four bigs are WordPress, Weebly, Wix, and Google Sites. Is that what you're asking? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Like
are the
what other platforms?
Those are the four most common platforms, and I think of those four, it really depends on you. I know. Are you a writing major, Kaylee?
No, but I'm in a lot of writing classes. I'm a communications major.
Okay, that's fine. Because the writing majors, the reason I ask is when the writing majors get to their portfolio their capstone class, their portfolio class, they will use WordPress to develop
Yeah.
a portfolio. If you're not working toward that, or even if you are working toward that, you want to try another platform, WordPress is my least favorite to work with. I think it's wonderful. I am a little WordPress deprived. I don't really do great with WordPress. I do way better with Wix or Weebly. I'm learning Google Sites. I think it's probably going to be my favorite once I get it. So, you know, play around with what works for you.
Okay.
I've also seen people, not in this class, but I've had other classes where I've seen people do their portfolios as prezzies. I've seen that.
Oh, okay.
That's real interesting, different, So they actually animate the Prezi and I've also seen people do portfolios where they've added audio. So I think, just be creative and have fun with it. Anyone else? I'm glad that there are 5 of you here. You're asking good questions. All right. If there are no other questions, then I'm gonna go on with since I'm here tonight and looks like it's a safe night and I'll be in for the night. I'll be able to get some work done and get some stuff out to you guys as I finish. So if you have any questions between now and then that continue, please just send them to me and I'll answer as quickly as I can. And again, my rule of thumb is if you haven't heard from me in 24 hours, I missed it, send it again. Don't feel like you're pestering me, please. All right. And if you need to meet live, I will be on campus tomorrow afternoon. I can get myself there when I have to, but we can always meet this way too. So, all right. And if you don't know this, you can use Remind as a text, and you can send me like a real-time text through Remind just about any time, I believe. So, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything. Maybe I'll talk to you again.